Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about season 6, episode 15, title We Change, We Wait, air date January 19th, 2009. And the synopsis is
Nathan is on the bench, but has more maturity, team spirit, and insight than the arrogant, selfish Devin. After refusing 6 directors, Lucas and Julian get an ultimatum from Paul. Julian is patient with Brooke's insecurity. Chase is Nina's ideal date, inspiring a new single. So we start off with Nathan on the sidelines of the game, and the Chiefs end up losing. And Devin, walks in the locker room, gloating how well he played in the game, even though he lost. Yeah. And Nathan points it out.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If they're losing,
Mm-hmm.
how does this help anyone on the team to get in the NBA?
Right.
Like, don't you think, like, if you were a scout, don't you think you would be like, no, why would I look at the losing team when I can look at the ones that are winning?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously if they're winning, that means they're probably good players,
Mm-hmm.
which is what you would want on your NBA team. So, like, I don't get how losing is going to help. I don't understand this at all.
Mm-hmm.
And as a coach, if you're losing, wouldn't you want to put your best players in and try to figure out who works best together? And I don't understand this. Like, it's one thing to like lose in high school, I guess, but like these are the people. I want to say kids because they're in their 20s. These are the 27-year-olds that this is their last chance.
Mm-hmm.
So like they need to give it their all, and you as a coach have to figure out what their best is. Like, there's a reason why they're on this team, right? Because I'm sure they've cut a lot of people. So there's a reason why they're on this team, and they're good, but they're not good enough to win. It's just really weird to me. Like, I don't know. Like, again, like if you're management and you own this team or whatever, you would be like, I'm gonna fire this coach. Like, for some other reason, we're not winning. Either that or he's picking players that aren't good and shouldn't be on the team. One or the other. But like, that's how I would look at it if I was management. Like, what is going on while we're losing?
Mm-hmm.
And like, take a double look at that, because like, I don't understand this, but I don't understand how losing is going to help them at all. I don't get it.
Right, yeah. Nathan's the only one that gets that, not Devin, because he thinks he's the winner just because he got 33 points.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't see it where, a losing team, if they, continue to lose or whatever, is going to help them at all. I really don't see that. But I guess that's just me. I don't know. I guess, well, also because, like, I don't know much about basketball, but I don't know. I just would think it would be smart to look at the winning teams.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And they're about to get in it when Bobby walks in. And,
did you know that this even exists?
What?
Where you can be on a team that isn't the NBA, but it's not college or whatever. Like, I didn't know there was a league like this.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's in between, and it's so that the NBA can look at, like, the NBA would be looking at the college kids.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm like, there's a reason why they weren't chosen during their college years. Wouldn't you then go towards the college kids again? Like, I don't know. Because there's only a certain amount of spots, right, for them to hire. Well, I don't know. I've just never really known them to be like, yeah, let's just throw you in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never heard of this league, so
yeah. Maybe it's like kind of like a wait list or something. Like if they can't find any college guys, I guess they'll look there. Maybe.
if they can't find any college.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe their players may have gotten hurt, so they don't know if they're going to even play this season. So they, yeah, something like that. Like it's kind of like NFL. Like if they're hurt, they still have the contract, obviously, so they're going to keep them. But like they don't know if they can play or not. Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of weird to like see, but okay. And again, even that, if that's what you're going to go with, you're picking college kids too. So your roster is going to be very slim of who you're going to pick on this league because you're pulling kids that are in the college league. So you're pulling a lot of those kids. So I can't really see them pulling a lot of this league because you're pulling a lot of the other kids. So to make your team, plus you already have players on your team already. So, and also basketball, it's not like football. You know, football, you can probably get more because, you know, like the age of retirement is probably lower because injuries. But like NBA, it's a little harder to get hurt than the NFL because you're not really supposed to hurt players. That's not what their goal is, to, you know, tackle them. So it's a little harder to do. But and at that point you should just get thrown out of the game. But or, you know, let go, one or the other. But because that's not basketball. But I feel like they keep their players a little longer because they can play basketball further than the NFL can. So so that's what I mean is, I mean, look at some of the, you know, successful NBA players. They've played a very long game. If you look at the NFL, there's not too many. Why? Because it's a very tough sport. And if you've ever watched the NFL, they definitely try to injure them. Like, you know, I don't understand why, you know, if they've already been tackled, why you still got to pounce on them. But, you know, that's just me. But yeah, so like that's my thing too, is I wouldn't think you would need to pull that many, especially because 5 can only play at a time on the court, where NFL is more. So you wouldn't need too many newbies on your team, I would think. So that's even, the pot is even slimmer for them, for the NBA, I think. Don't you think? If you look at how long they can play, you look at, you know, barely the lower the injuries. I don't want to say, you know, there's none, but, you know, like lower the injuries, the fact that there's only 5 guys on a court. I mean, when you look at that, you don't need 50 players on a team. And maybe 1 or 2 may have retired. So your spots are kind of limited, I think. I don't know, it's just in my mind. So that's actually scarier. So like now that we're talking about, that's actually scarier for like Nathan and this team, because they're only one team. There's how many teams in this little league? Like that's scary. The fact that, you know, they have a limited number to pull from, you know?
Yeah, Nathan was a bigger person because he didn't, you know, start with Devin.
Which the old Nathan would have. He's growing up. It's so nice to see our characters grow up, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Lucas is in the kitchen doing dishes to help him think. And, you know, paying out what's going on. Is just, you know, him in the movie because they've met with 5 directors, but he hasn't liked any of them.
Oh, what did you think when she was like, there's a thing called a dishwasher? And he was like, yeah, it's me. I'm like, I don't know. It just kind of made it sound like she doesn't do dishes. Because like in a relationship, that would be like what the other person would say is, oh, yeah, I have to do the dishes because like you don't do them. And I was like, ooh. When he said that, I was like, Lucas.
I just took it as like he doesn't really use a dishwasher because he's used to doing it by hand.
Well, that's the thing, is clearly Karen never had a dishwasher.
Yeah, I've never used one, so.
Well, I think like that's the difference is clearly Peyton's dad must have had one, obviously, since she is like, just use a dishwasher. That's why. Which okay, didn't Keith put a dishwasher? Wasn't he fixing? No, he was fixing the sink that one day. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Julian's dad's gonna be in town tomorrow, and he's not happy with them being so selective about the directors. So Payne says maybe the next one will be the right one.
You know, it's kind of weird that they are just talking now about like 6 directors that they've met with when we've only seen one. I mean, in this episode, you see, what is it, the British guy? But I'm like, man, I really saw all like more than one
or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, like in this episode, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
that we finally see the second one. But when Julian's dad's like, yeah, you had 6 to choose from, and it's like, huh? I didn't. It's weird because like they never really talked about others, even if we never saw them. They never really talked about them until here, where they're debating which one should we get. It's like, oh my god.
And next we see Nathan saying to Haley and Jamie that this is the first 5-game losing streak of his career.
See, losing.
And
Jamie is just kind of blaming the team and clearly not Nathan. Because they're losing, like, as in like the team is losers and not Nathan, obviously, because he didn't participate in the losing. But it's like, he's still on the team.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he, explained that to them, that they're, all just one team. Nobody's, the star player like Devin thinks he is.
Yeah, like you win together, you lose together, you're in misery together, all of it.
Even if he doesn't play, he's still part of the team. Yeah.
Well, and as part of the team, he can still, which he does in this episode, help the players. Just like, remember, he would help Lucas back in high school. Remember about that spot? It's like, remember the spot and all this. It's like, like Lucas and Nathan helped each other sort of in all of that high school basketball. But it's like, that's how you become a team leader too, is by helping your players, not just helping yourself. Like Devin is helping himself. Nathan is more the team leader and could help others of like, maybe let's try it this. I think you're better at this. Let's, you should do it this way or something. Like, I don't know. He's helping a different, like how Q is helping him. Like that, to me, that's a leader.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good to see Nathan, grow and become a better team player, because he could have easily like taught Jamie like how his dad taught him when he was that young.
I'm the best and you all suck. Remember, that's what Dan basically would say. It's like, I was the team and they just played around me. They were losers. It's like, what?
And then Brooke and Julian are on her couch making out, and she feels guilty about it because of Payton.
Yeah, with like the lights off. Okay, where is Sam? The fact that she is just full on making out on the couch without, like, Sam could walk in any minute. I'm just saying, don't you think you wouldn't be doing this right there on the couch where she could walk in?
Right. Yeah.
It's a little weird, I think.
Yeah, that's why Brooke explains that she doesn't want to go to the bedroom, because that would be, showing, she's basically breaking her own rule about not having boys in the bedroom, even though she's the adult. But
Okay, yeah, that's my thing. She's the adult. It's her house, first of all. Secondly, isn't it worse if they do it on the couch versus doing it in the bed? I'm just saying, like, to walk in and see them, even if they were half naked, it's like, that's trauma for Sam, and it's not a good lesson for Sam, versus just do it in the bedroom, get it over with, and climb out the window. Not that he has to, because they're adults, but just like, I don't understand this at all. Like, the rules should be only to Sam in my mind. But okay, but again, I don't think it's any better to do it on the couch, because they're really going at it.
Yeah, so then Sam does walk in. Yep, and she says, since she's on, like, she can be on the couch with the boys, but she's not allowed to have them in her bedroom.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
It's weird.
Yeah. And yeah, so they're just all embarrassed. Mostly Sam and Brooke.
Well,
Julian
maybe they should have went to the bedroom.
Yeah, he does. He says that again too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she says, Sam says that she'll have her headphones on tonight just in case. And then Julian's just laughing, and she's embarrassed. And again, he says they should continue this in the bedroom without, their clothes, she says. She finishes her sentence because he said that more than once.
Yeah, but in her mind, it's more like, just go.
Yep, and then without saying anything, she just gets up and walks to her bedroom, and Julian asks if he should follow her, but she just slams the door.
So, do you realize that continuity for the set? Do you realize that when Sam had arrived to Brooke's house, she remember when she said, like, when she was sneaking out, she said, go to my room, upstairs, where there's no, like, it's harder to get out, right? She can't really get out. She had to go upstairs to Brooke's room because she didn't want Sam downstairs where she can climb out and escape. Well, here, Brooke's bedroom is downstairs.
Didn't they suggest that too? When Peyton was moving out and she was in her room?
Yes, Brooke was downstairs.
So they said it was downstairs, upstairs, and downstairs again?
Yep. So when when Peyton moved out, it was downstairs. When Sam moved in, all of a sudden it was upstairs, so she couldn't climb out. And now she's downstairs. It's weird. You know what? So Sam's room and Brooke's room are downstairs, which to me is weird because, like, there is an upstairs, clearly. What's upstairs then? Like, if 2 bedrooms are downstairs, isn't it a little weird?
Yeah.
That both are downstairs and what's upstairs? Like, clearly, I think Peyton lived upstairs, and they had a room for baby Angie. So I'm just confused at how many bedrooms this house has, because apparently there's 2 downstairs. I don't know, it's throwing me off. I'm like, why do they keep switching Brooke's room?
I don't know.
Like, people, she has 1 room. Like, also, don't you think, like, the master might be on, like, I don't know, because the master can also be upstairs. It's just kind of weird that both are downstairs. Like, in some houses, the master is downstairs. I've seen in some houses, like, the master is downstairs, but the rest of the bedrooms are upstairs. But, like, why are 2 bedrooms downstairs and then some bedrooms are upstairs? It's weird that there's 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just thrown off by this. Also, don't you think, like, Brooke would have, like, a bathroom and all this in her room? When it doesn't look like she does. Like, Brooke when she bought this house, she had money. You mean to tell me Brooke would not buy a house that has a master room with a master bathroom? I'm just saying, like, she would, because that would be like her thing of, like, I have money, right? I can now buy myself something that has that. I'm sorry, but she just would. Also, I don't know. I thought she also had, like, a beach house.
Yeah, that's supposed to be it, yeah.
But it doesn't look like she's on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
She was on the beach the beginning of season 5 when it was her and Peyton. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like she lives on the street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused at that, too, because what? It's the same house through the rest of the series. Why do we never see the beach or them out on the patio like we did?
Maybe just to save money. Yeah.
I know, but I just feel like you can't. But they never bring it up. It's never like, were you on the patio? Like, even if they just talked about it, it's not like that. Or don't be looking at those boys on the beach. Or I don't know, like when she had moved in, like, don't be thinking you can just go to the beach and come back. Like, it's weird how like you see it, but even if you don't show it again ever, you can still talk about it. so that we know it's the same setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when people use her back door, when it's open, you should be able to see some type of beach scenery or something.
Mm-hmm. But we don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next director Lucas and Julian are meeting with is showing them a trailer, asking what do they see, because he sees...
Oh my God. He says Lucas should live here.
Yeah.
And Lucas is like, I had a nice house. Like, it was funny because Lucas was just like, no, I actually had a house.
Mm-hmm.
It was so funny. But like, I get it too. I'd be like, excuse you? Like, my mom made sure I had a house. I mean, the boy had his own room to go, or his own door to go outside. So that's what's weird.
Yeah, and he even wants the entire movie to be shot with a handheld camera, so it would just more look like a home video.
But... So it would be shaky, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Remember the Dawson's Creek episode where it was so shaky?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that when they were filming that movie, it was so shaky? It's like, it would look like that. Like, it's hard to like keep that camera steady. Like,
right.
Yeah. In my opinion. But I'm like, okay. So this director is just doing everything possible to save money by getting a trailer versus a house, by doing handheld instead of, you know, the high tech ones. Like, I don't know. It just seems like he is trying to do everything to save money. What? So he can pocket the money? Give himself a raise?
Use it for something else in the movie? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Maybe use it for A-list actors. I don't know.
Probably.
And then he also wants to change so many things besides just the house. He wants Keith to be killed by his uncle's gang. Or not his uncle, but like a rival gang kills Keith.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Okay, that would only make sense if you put Dan as the leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say that, but I couldn't say the right words. Yeah.
Like, if Dan was the leader, then it would be like Nathan is the leader trying to sabotage Lucas. Remember, he got his little minions to do it. That would be the only way that would make sense of compared to the book of you can switch some things, you know, because I know we've talked about that, but like, yeah, you can do that, but Dan has to be the ringleader otherwise, or he paid them to do it, one or the other. But that would be the only way for it to make a little sense to the book is if Dan either paid them or was the leader.
Right.
And just didn't do it himself because, you know, he didn't want to be, you know, red-handed.
Mm-hmm. And with that, Lucas is done, so he walks away.
Lucas is like, I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, this director would definitely be at your bottom then. Like, out of all the directors, because, like, you know, he wants to change basically the whole script. And this is only 2 things we really saw. But I'm sure if he wanted to change these things, I'm sure he wanted to change everything.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't see it.
Right. And then Dan is at the doctor's office asking, you know, the chances of getting another heart. And the doctor says the same as they were before, not great.
Yeah, but he said, but when he gives it to him and he says, make sure you call us next time, or, you know, this time. And I'm like, he was a little held up.
Mm-hmm.
How come that's not really talked about of like, dude, I was held up. Like, wouldn't you tell your doctor?
Yeah.
Wouldn't your doctor also have to like make sure wouldn't this doctor have known because he would have had to check his heart to make sure it was okay in the first place after the kidnapping and everything that she had done to him and torture? Don't you think that this doctor would have, because it's his heart doctor, don't you think that he would have had to check his heart out and make sure it's okay after that? Right, so then he would have said, and think about it, your doctor would say to you what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And you would say, I got kidnapped and I was tortured. Yeah. And then they would know, that it's like not okay to just be like, next time call us. Like, really? I would have called you, but I was a little held up. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that part is missing in the story right here of why would the doctor say that if he knows that Dan was kidnapped? Also, does he not know? Like, I'm confused now. Because that would be something that you would talk about.
Yeah, it would be like in the newspaper of Tree Hill or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The mayor was kidnapped, or the ex-mayor was kidnapped.
Yeah. Yeah, he was kidnapped, tortured, and then his captor tried to kill his daughter-in-law as well.
And kidnapped the grandson.
Yeah, so that was just major stress that maybe should have even killed him right there, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was a little thrown off. I'm like, why does this doctor not know? Also, if this doctor wasn't the one that checked him out after that happened, it would have been in the records. I'm sure that something like that happened. So it's a little weird how he doesn't know.
Right.
And now he's just making a joke out of it, which I don't think is funny. Like, even for Dan Scott, I don't think that's funny.
Yeah. And then Bobby was watching a game with Nathan, and Nathan, was saying about Devon doing this and that. And he just wants to talk to him about, how they're going to take this team, but Devon acting like this. And, goes into detail about how he's just gloating about those 33 points he got. And basically saying to Bobby, like, if he wants the team to do well, he needs to change something with Bobby playing as he is.
I liked when the coach said, do you know what you sound like? A coach. And no lie, when he was doing that, I was like, Nathan, you do sound like a coach.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have taken the job.
Yeah, and then even gives him the plans to look at too, as if he is a coach. And then Lucas and Julian are at some restaurant, and
Julian all of a sudden has a hat.
Yeah, I forgot about this hat because it did look kind of funny on him too. So
okay, we've never seen Julian so far with a hat, right?
Or any guy, yeah, on this show, yeah, except for a baseball cap, maybe, yeah.
But in the future, I feel like he does wear a couple hats, and so now all of a sudden he's into hats. I don't know. It's just like he didn't seem like that, and now he is. So they're trying to already change his character. And then he's like, "Is that a new hat?" He's like, "Yeah." Why? He goes, "No reason." I'm like, "Lucas." And he goes, "Well, you wouldn't say that." And I'm like, just their little bit is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Because I think at this point their painting is kind of off the table. Like they don't really it's not like I hate you and you hate, like there's no hatred anymore. It's just now just comedy, and that they're on the same page. They want to get this movie done. They want to do it right. They, like that kind of thing. Like they're on each other's side, where before they weren't.
Yeah.
So I like this. I like when they're on the same team.
Me too. Yeah.
And that they're up against everyone else. Julian's dad, all these different directors. Soon it'll be casting. Like, I'm just glad that they're on the same team at least.
Yeah. And then Paul gets there, asking what happened with the last director. Was he like too short, too tall? And that
was funny.
Yeah, so he's just not a, even Julian says that he's not a right, good fit. And calls him dad. So apparently Julian's been calling him Paul since he was 15, kind of like what Brooke's been doing, with Victoria, but she didn't do that until like her 20s, I think.
Well, yeah. Remember, he did want to take his mom's name so that it didn't look like he was using his dad. And I think because his dad just hated him so much, it was like, fine, I'll just call you what everyone else does. You're not my parent. Yeah. Except for every time he needs them. But here's the thing. It's like, it was funny when Paul was like, those directors are extremely talented. They are. Like, what? And like they even said that. And he said, he's like, I gave you 6 directors. He's like, any one of them could make this movie. He's like, so it gives them the ultimatum kind of thing of like, pick one, or basically, I'll pick one.
Mhm.
And it was funny. But I did think it was funny when he goes, if you don't, then I'm going to take this stupid hat off Julian's head.
Mhm.
It was funny though. But I was just like, that's the problem. Is like Lucas is being so picky, which I get it. I would too. But like you do have to find one of them because otherwise it's out of your hands. Because remember, you signed it away. So at that point, you know, higher ups can be like, they can't figure this out. So we will step in and figure it out for them. And
Mhm.
that's the problem. So if you're
Yeah.
so passionate, you need more of like the authority side to it, which he doesn't have. So,
Mhm.
and clearly either does Julian.
Yep. And they only have one day to decide. And Julian takes off his hat finally. And then Nathan walks into the room where Haley's playing piano, and he's complimenting her, saying how did he get so like how did he get such a talented wife?
Yeah, and she said, "You just got lucky." And he goes, "No, that's how I got a son." It's like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah. And then she asks how it went with the coach, and he says, looks like he won't be playing anytime soon.
And
But
then he said that Haley and Jamie should skip the next few games because he doesn't want to let Jamie down. But
Mhm.
I was happy that Haley told him, like, no, you're his hero. You know, like basically he needs to see that. Like even
Mhm.
if you are on the bench. And I was happy because Jamie does. Jamie thinks that Nathan is, you know, the best of the best and no one can outbeat him, blah blah blah. And that's just not true. Like,
Mhm.
yes, he is great, but could he be outbeat? 100%. And um, and so I think that Jamie needs to see that sometimes your heroes do sit on the bench.
Mhm.
And he needs to learn that, especially at 5. He definitely should be learning that because he thinks his family, especially with like Dan saying, chirping in his ear of like how great they are. He
Mhm.
needs the other side as Nathan to say, listen, like we need to be more humble and, respectful. And, so I do think he does need to because Dan's talking a lot in Jamie's ear, you
Yeah.
know? And
Mhm.
I think that Nathan needs to change that.
Mhm. Yeah, and I liked how Haley said what Nathan said earlier about them losing and winning as a team together.
Yeah.
And then Julian walks into the store to see a long rack of clothes labeled for each character for the movie. So she did that really quick.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, she's like ready for this movie,
yeah,
which is
and
weird.
she messes with him, saying like, "Where did you disappear last night?" She was waiting for him in her bed.
But she never actually said. He said,
Yeah.
he said, "Do I meet you in your room or whatever?" And she
Mhm.
never said anything.
Yeah, that's why she was messing with him because it was obviously a no. Yeah, she
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, she was because that if he would have walked towards her bed, she would have said, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird. I was like, "Really, Brooke?"
Yeah. And then she even has a varsity jacket or Letterman jacket. And
Yeah, and she said like, "Oh, I'm sure you've had these." Like, and he's like, "No, I wasn't.
mm-hmm.
Popular and all this."
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, the only one that really had the Letterman jacket was Nathan.
Right.
Like Lucas, even though he had gained popularity, he was on the basketball team. He was one of the best on the basketball team. He still never had a Letterman jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So, because remember, what do they always act like? They always act like the popular kids, all the football players, basketball players always have Letterman jackets. Well, that's not exactly true.
Right.
Also, do you remember in our school,
Yeah, that wasn't a thing.
Letterman, and think about this is 2009. We graduated 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2009, we were actually freshmen in high school. Letterman jackets were not a thing, I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I will say like my brother had a jacket, but he wasn't wearing it like all the time. It wasn't like Nathan season 1 where every time you looked at him, he had his jacket on. It was nothing like that. Like my brother had one, but it wasn't like he wore it all the time. And then after that, I think it was maybe after that class, because he was a senior. I think after that, Letterman jackets were out. Like, because then when we graduated, I don't think anyone had it. And if they did, I don't recall them seeing. I don't remember them wearing them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anyone in our class wearing them?
No, I don't think anybody now does either.
Exactly.
I think it was a certain time of, an era for that to be a thing.
That's why I think it might have been like, because like my brother had one, I think a couple of his friends had one. But they were graduating class of 2009, which is when this aired. So they were probably the last ones to really have one.
Mm-hmm.
And also they were seniors when we were freshmen. So it's not like we were like really watching the seniors too much. So I think that was that too, was they were definitely a different, even though they're 3 years apart, they were just, I think maybe the last class to really do it. Because again, I don't even remember as sophomores seeing 2010 really have any.
Yeah, apparently it started back in 1865 with wearing heavy wool sweaters with a large H stitched on them for Harvard.
I mean, I do remember, like, if you look at, like, your parents, if you look at their yearbooks and stuff, you do see the guys wearing the Letterman jackets. Like, I've seen it. But that was also like the 80s, where it was more like that's what I think that was like the standout of like, if you had one, you were cool, you were tough. Like there was a theme about it where, like, kind of like Nathan, like, I'm cool, that's why I got one, and clearly no one else has one. But I think that was the thing, was if you played sports, if you were popular, which if you were popular, you played sports. It's like that kind of thing of like showing who is in this league compared to the rest of you who are just not cool. I think that was a thing of showing where everybody stands in the school.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you walked around with one, you were cool. But I don't think that's how it should be, nor do I think, I mean, that's not how we had it in our high school era. We definitely, the guys were not walking around with their, jackets being like, look at me, I'm cool, you're not. Like, they just weren't doing that. So I do think that was definitely other generations before us, not ours.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm happy about, because I don't feel like they should stand out compared to the rest of them, like the rest of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, oh, it's rude. So like for Brooke, like, here, you get a Letterman. It's like, what? Like, again, Lucas didn't even have one, Brooke, and you dated him.
Right.
So that's what's weird, is like Lucas didn't have one either. So there we go. He had one in Nathan's little fantasy dream, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only time we saw him wear one.
Yeah. Yeah, they've evolved quite a bit since they began. But they were very popular, basically the second half of the 20th century, and seem to have fizzled out for the most part. And they're just really expensive too, so some kids just don't get them because of that.
Mm-hmm. Also, did you hear she said, you lettered all 4 years in football? So was this more of like a football thing? Like, Nathan played basketball and he had one. So like, was this more of a football thing?
Yeah, I
Like,
think
why?
so.
Like, why did she say football? Like, the show has nothing to do with football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if she had said basketball or something? Something that this show has, like, they've talked about for 6 seasons. You know what I mean? Like, they're not a football show. So why would she say football? It was a little weird. I was like, this show's all about basketball.
Yeah, well, with the origin story, they said that Harvard, it was their baseball team that actually started it.
Really?
I guess it could have been any sport, really, just became more common with football later on.
I mean, if you ever watch like either 90s movies or early 2000s, the football players are the ones, remember, in the movies that always have the Letterman jackets.
Yeah, I feel like it was still a thing like in the 50s through 80s movies as well. Sometimes,
yeah. So if you watch those older movies, it the football player, because usually that's what movies are about. Like the quarterback is always the one that has it, and it's like, okay.
Right.
So yes, I do think maybe baseball started it, but football definitely took over. But in this show, Nathan had it, and he was the popular one, and he had played basketball. So I would just think that she would have said basketball, since that's what the show's about. But okay, let's just forget that this show has been about basketball.
Yeah, it's basically like Tree Hill never even had a football team anyways.
Well, and again, even if Nathan was a star of basketball, if there was a quarterback on if they've had football team, don't you think that they would have, unless they were a losing team, don't you think they would have outbeat the popularity of Nathan? Again, because I feel like more people go to watch football than they do basketball. Even when we were in school, people go and watch high school football more than they go and watch high school basketball. And it's just a common thing. I don't know why. It just is. But yeah, I mean, think about when we were in middle school, our 7th grade teacher, who was also the coach for basketball, had to bribe us with extra credit points to get us to support the team. I mean, that's how low they were on the totem pole when it came to sports. Like, it is what it is. Like, I remember my brother played basketball freshman year. They weren't really supported as much as they were for football, and they were losing at football at that time. But people went out to watch football, and they didn't do basketball. So that's what I'm saying. I don't even know why, because at least you're in the heat and everything during basketball, because you're inside, where football, you're outside freezing. But I don't know. People just didn't gravitate towards basketball. But in Tree Hill, there is no football team. Yeah, let's just make that known.
Right. And then Peyton walks in just as Julian's walking out. And Peyton tells Brooke, like, is she really having sex with Julian? And Brooke says, no, they're not. And Peyton argues that they are. She can sense it. And Brooke says her senses are off because they're not. But how much would she hate her if they were? But Peyton says she wouldn't hate her. She knows how it is. You know, he's smart, charming, gets into a lot of beds with that little grin of his. And Brooke says she knows that grin. And
but she does want to let her know. It's weird that she's held on to this, right? She's just now telling her, now that Brooke is so invested with Julian, that's all she can think of. Now Peyton is gonna this is what a good friend Peyton is, and not a good friend. She slaps us in her face now that she really likes her. As you know, the weekend we broke up, he jumped into a bed with someone else. You know, and he didn't go to Sundance, whatever, because he was, you know, with some actress, and it was in the tabloids. And it's like, Peyton, why are you just telling her this? Don't you think that when she had started to like him last episode, you would have said, just so you know, this happened? Like, I don't understand why she's held on to this until she's like, oh, you're sleeping with him. Now I'll tell you. Like, what? Like, why are you waiting till Brooke is so invested in him that you would tell her this? It's mind-blowing that Peyton is so not a good friend to her.
Yeah, you think that she would have brought it up when she was having that problem with Lucas and Julian not knowing about each other and her past with them.
Yep. So, like when he came to town and she saw, remember when she was like, don't talk to him, don't talk to her. Remember that whole scene at the USO tour? Like, don't you think that, or the concert, don't you think like she would have said even then, like, just like, I don't, like, heads up, like, you do what you want, but I just want you to know this information. You make up your own mind, but I told you my hands are clean. You do what you want, make up your own mind about him, but like, this happened. No, let's wait episodes later till she's so invested, wants to sleep with them, and bam, here's the news. Like, what, Peyton? What kind of friend are you? It's weird.
Yeah, it seems like for these couple seasons when they're adults, they just never really wanted Brooke to be in a good relationship for some reason. Like, there's always something that seems to be in the way, whether it's on her end or, you know, his end.
Yeah, let's give her all the let's give her all the crappy guys who are not marriage material yet.
Mm-hmm.
While everybody else is kind of linked up.
Yeah.
With somebody they're, supposed to be with. Like, yes, Mouth and Millie, they've had their fall because they're not together. But like, we know they're gonna get back together. But like they're also made for each other kind of thing. So it's like they found the person. They just have to now work through the relationship of it. But like Brooke has not had that yet. It's not like somebody's so solid where we could see a future with this person. It's weird. It is weird. And did you know, like, there was like fans were always writing in saying Brooke needs to be with this person. Like, she just needs to be with somebody. Like,
No.
so when it got to Julian, fans were so annoyed because again, it was like guy after guy where they were finally like, Julian just needs to stay because she needs someone solid. And and fans were tired of her going from guy to guy, getting hurt, being with losers, when she just needs a good guy like everybody else has. So yeah, there was a thing of like fans did not like it. So they finally were like, okay, we got to keep somebody. So, because they were tired of it. I think Owen was definitely everybody's last straw of like, why does she keep going after these people?
Yeah, I wonder if for a second people thought that was the reason why Chase came back too.
I think it was to see where he could fit into Brooke's love life, but it didn't work.
Yeah, so Peyton warns Brooke to be careful because the second the movie's over, he's going to be off, with somebody else, basically.
Annoying.
Because it's not a new movie. I mean, she's not wrong about that because, a lot of people in the entertainment industry tend to, end up with somebody that they were working on a project with, and then they break up soon after that project's over with. Not all of them. Like 2 actors from Stranger Things have been together since season 1, and that was like 9 years ago. So they've been together for a while. So not them, but like most couples, usually break up after the show or movie, whatever, is over. So she's not wrong there, but with everything else before she, she'll know that she was wrong about that.
But also, he's a producer. It's not even like he's an actor. Because yes, a lot of actors get together. But it's rare that you hear a producer and an actor.
Yeah.
Like usually it's actors getting together. I never really hear stories of like directors unless they're director/actor. I never really hear that. It's usually just these 2 actors, we're sleeping together. These 2 actors dated, or these 2 actors got married and then, they were done. But you never really hear producers because usually the producers are not really always there on set. So some are because they have to be, but like you don't really ever hear those stories. So I was surprised that they even threw that in because it wasn't like a big thing. More just actors.
Right.
Because again, I do think it is if you sleep with the producer, you're trying to get ahead. I think that's where it comes from of like maybe that's why they stay away from producers to sleep with, because it's like once it gets out, you're gonna be looked at bad because you slept with the producer.
And then some producers and directors use their power as an advantage to, hook up with somebody they're trying to hire for their project too. So either way, it's not good.
Yeah, and I think again, if it comes out where you did, your career is probably gonna go down.
Yeah, and so Payne knows that from being out in LA for those few years.
Do you know what I think is weird about this whole thing is Peyton says she read about it in tabloids. My thing is Brooke is so used to reading things in the tabloids about herself that aren't true. And she knows that like Victoria planted her with this guy. Remember, like at the very beginning, we saw her mom hire people so that she could look like she was with somebody. It's like, so given that Brooke knows that side and she knows that tabloids run fake stories, why would she say Peyton is 100% correct when Peyton read about it? It's not like she heard it this from somebody close to him.
Mhm.
And then it was true in the tabloids. Like, it's not like Peyton never said that. Like, his friend said it's true. No one confirmed the story. So I don't understand where Brooke would be like, I agree with you, Peyton. And it's like, but you've read negative things and not true things about yourself. So why would you think that everything that is written about Julian in the press is true? I don't get this. Like, for you and me, because we're not in the industry, it would be like, oh my God, this is true. But we've also never had anything written about us that's, not true. So, like, for us, we may be believing it. But for Brooke, who's had things written about her, I don't get where she would be like, I'm going to believe everything. Like, I can see you believing a little bit of it, but also the hopeful of it not being true. But also, is it true? Like, but the fact that she's, for the rest of the episode, she's taken this and running with it. Why? When, again, you have had things written about you. I don't get this.
It's probably because she's hearing it from Peyton, her friend, herself, instead of like coming across the newspaper one day herself and seeing that.
But even Peyton said, I read about it in the tabloid. She never said, I confirmed it with someone close to Julian. She never once said that. She said, I read about it in the tabloid. Well, reading about it in the tabloid, finding if it's true from a friend or a colleague or someone that knew Julian is two different things. Like, you can't just do that. And then to ruin her hopes, like, find out if this is true. That's what she should have been doing from the time Julian came back to this time. She should have been trying to figure out if this was true or not. To then tell Brooke, like, don't just tell her a false statement that you read and then be like, don't be with him. How about find out if it's true, Peyton?
Yeah, maybe Brooke just thought with Peyton telling her this that she had confirmed it with somebody without actually saying it out loud with the word that she did.
I don't think she confirmed it though.
Well, yeah, we know
because we know she didn't confirm it. So that's my point, is for Brooke to be naive, to be like, I'm going to run with this now, when you've had things written. That's my whole thing, is you've had things written about you. You shouldn't believe everything, even if it's about somebody else. You and I are two different people. We would probably maybe believe it, but more than Brooke should. So I just don't like the whole thing. But okay, Brooke, let's run with it.
Mm-hmm. And then Haley rushes to get the door when she hears knocking, but by the time she gets halfway down the stairs, she sees Lucas down on one knee with the ring,
proposing.
Yeah, so she'll marry him. Yeah.
And she's like, that's so weird. You're so creepy on so many levels. And then he said, that's how the crazy director in LA wanted the movie to end. And she's like, seriously. It was funny.
Yeah.
So then he shows her the ring, and it's the ring he wants to give Peyton, which, how long have they been engaged? He's just now given a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. And so she's been walking around without a ring. Yeah, so then I just thought it was funny when she couldn't get the ring off. It was funny.
Yeah, I see that happen a lot in shows. Like, somebody shows a ring to somebody, not the actual person to propose, but something like a friend or somebody, and that person always wants to try it on their own hand for some reason, even though that's not going to be the ring. So I don't get why they do that. But then they always get stuck too. That's a gag. So.
Well, I know. Like, if you were getting engaged, I wouldn't be like, let me put the ring on.
Yeah, like, that's not my ring. I shouldn't put it on.
I would like look at it and see how pretty it is, but like I wouldn't be like, let me try it on and see what it looks like. No, I should wait till you put it on and let me see how it looks like on your hand. Like,
yeah, because like if Peyton and Haley are like the same size and rings, then that would make sense for Lucas to let Haley try it on. But that wasn't the case here. So.
Yeah, weird.
And that was funny how she's like, oh, well, it's stuck now, so I got to keep it, and walks away.
And he's like, yeah, funny, like, give it back.
But then she also said that she always pictured him giving her Keith's ring too.
Yeah, and he brings up how Lindsay had it, and she's like, yo, she gave it back. And he's like, yeah, but like basically she still had it, which I get where he's coming from, of like, the whole Lindsay drama. He did give it to her. And she gave it back, but like she still wore it first.
Right, yeah. Either way, it was a good idea to get another ring just in case.
Yeah. But I do think it should be up to Peyton of, I have 2 rings for you. Which one do you want?
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe what he should have done. Here's the Keith's ring. Here's the one I bought you just in case. Which one do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I'm going to decide which one should go on your hand. No. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no. Especially when she had in her head all these years of Keith's ring. Maybe you should have given her both options. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he knows the negative feedback. If it was, like, if she wanted the new ring, he would understand. So, like, that should have been brought up. But it should have been her choice, not her having to come to him and try to explain, like, I don't want to hurt you, but, like, I want to wear that ring. Like, it should have just give her both rings. See what she likes.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, because she could wear Keith's ring for, when they're at home, but if they go on vacation or something and she doesn't want to lose that ring, she can put the other one on or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
like just switch them out once in a while for some reason. And then Julian walks back into the store wearing the jacket this time. And now Brooke has multiple jackets made up now for like a whole basketball team already. It's like she's the fastest clothes maker in the world because she just always seems to make things so quickly. Even though in the whatever season it was, she couldn't even make some dresses by herself for the website in one night.
Well, she was just starting out then.
I know, but it's just still funny. Yeah.
But I do think it is still too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like last episode, how she had Peyton's wedding dress all finished, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like Sam had just ruined it.
Right.
Like
I
that's a little too fast.
I think that was a whole new one because the other one couldn't be saved. So yeah.
Well, no, it was, I think, a brand new one, but I'm just saying how fast she made it from like when Sam had ruined it to now. I'm like, that's pretty fast. Like that's why. Well, and then she's doing that in between doing the movie clothes. Like, how does she have time for a relationship or for Sam? Like, is my question, because wouldn't she be there all day doing this and all night?
Yeah, because I follow some dressmakers and such, and they always say how long it takes them, like hours and hours for just one piece of clothing, one outfit, one dress, whatever. So
yeah, Brooke's doing it like that.
Yeah, like it'd be like some days, until they have it completed and everything. But yeah, now she's giving him the cold shoulder, or no, I mean after hearing what Peyton said about him moving on that quickly. So he's like confused because things are going so well until now. And yeah, so she asks what is this between them? And he's still clueless, like being in this conversation because he has no idea where that's going. He's lost. So she says, are they being like, she's being serious about this thing between them? Like, what are they doing? And Julian says he doesn't know. They're hanging out.
They're just having fun. And she's like, right, like that's what it is. Like she said, I expected that to be your answer. And he's like, what's wrong with having fun? And she's nothing. It's like, Brooke, just tell him the truth. Like you want a serious relationship because you haven't had one. So
yeah, besides for Lucas and Felix, but that didn't last long.
Yeah, but Lucas was
and Chase
half with Peyton
in his head. Yeah.
Yeah, like he wasn't fully invested in her, and Felix was
a jerk.
Yeah, Felix was Felix. So it wasn't like anything was really going to go for that. Plus, Brooke had Lucas on her mind for Felix. So it's like she's never been in a relationship where she's been 100% and he's been 100%, like on the same page.
I think she was with Chase for a little while until they broke up for whatever reason.
Yeah, but it was all started with a lie.
Yeah.
It also can't start with a lie. Because then where are you going to go from here?
Well, they seem to be doing fine. Maybe they broke up because of the distance. Like she was going to go to New York and he was going to go somewhere else. So
yeah, but remember they were going to keep a long distance relationship. Remember?
Oh, I guess
they were going to send those dirty texts together and everything.
Yeah, I guess they just couldn't do it after a while. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
She probably, I don't know if I said this before, but maybe she got too busy with her clothing line, like she couldn't, give Chase any time,
Or maybe her mom stepped in and said, you can't have a boyfriend, so you got to break up with Chase.
Maybe put the
She,
business first. Yeah.
she probably said either Chase comes first or the business. Which one you want? And she probably said, I want the business. So,
yeah.
But again, we have to guess this because they never actually told us. Annoying.
Yeah. So, she tells Julian that this would have been fine for her in the past, having a fling. But, things change. She has to set a good example for Sam, which I get here. And, she doesn't know how to explain just having fun to her. So, Brooke said it's about Sam and like herself. And Julian asks if it's about Peyton as well. And Brooke asks, does it matter? Because they're just gonna, they both know he's gonna leave when the movie's over. So now Julian's caught up on what's going on. And he says maybe they should just slow it down and focus on the movie, put business, first for now. And Brooke says by slow down, he means in the brakes. And he tells her that it seems like she slammed them before he walked in.
Exactly. Like she's now twisting his words because she's basically wants to stop the relationship. And
now she's hurt that he said that.
Right. And now because he voiced it, actually said something, now she's like, what? You ought to, it's like, oh my God, Brooke, it was in your head to end it. And now because he said something, now you're offended. He's just telling the truth. He's just stating the obvious.
Yeah, and then he still says that, whatever she wants it to be, he's fine with that,
It's so annoying though. Like you can't blame him for having the same thought you just said without saying. He's only making sure it's clear.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing. I don't think Julian's in the wrong for this.
Right, yeah.
Do you? I think she's going a little too far.
So then Jamie's with Dan and asks him, what's that, the pager, and he tells him that that's the thing that makes noise when it's time for him to get better.
Jamie was it was cute of how he loves Dan so much, but at the same time, it was heartbreaking because he kept going, look, it's making a noise, like you hear it, and it's like, because he just wants Grandpa Dan to be healthy, but it's like, oh, Jamie, like that can break your heart, like just seeing how he wants this so much, and it may never come. That's just hard, especially like for a 5-year-old. I mean, that's all. Jamie's had so much happen in the last year. I'm just saying, with everybody in his life.
So I can't remember. Does Dan ever actually get a heart later on? I know what happens to the next one, but
I know that the dog eats it or something.
Yeah. So and then because he
gets better,
stays alive. Yeah. So then almost the full end of the series, which is supposed to be like a year or two-ish from now, and they already said he has 6 months, and that should be down to at least 3 months at the most by now. So it seems like he'll be running out of time by the end of this season or the beginning of next season. So I don't know how he even look longer than he has now. So
well, next season Jamie turns 7. He's 5 here.
Did we skip a year then?
Yeah. Well, think about it. Between Peyton announcing she's pregnant to the end when she has the baby, that's like 7 months already.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting.
Yeah. And then then there's like after the summer, or it is the summer some. So yeah.
He definitely would have been gone way before she had the baby. Yeah.
So it's just a little weird that I don't remember him ever having, because the doctor said. Didn't the doctor basically say, like, if you don't have this, like, this is the only thing that's going to save you. If you don't have this, you will die. Like, there is no alternative. There's no medicine. There's no therapy. This is it. This is your chance. And so how do you go from that to the dog eats the heart? And then I don't remember either that he even had the surgery. And then all of a sudden he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's not like this is his kidney or his liver, because I could easily see maybe Nathan, giving, being a donor to save him, but the heart, can't do that. So I can't remember how he lives.
I don't get it either. I don't understand. Again, it's not like we can put you on some medicine and see if you live another 5, like if you can make another 5 years without a heart. It's nothing like that. I don't understand. They said you will die if you don't have this. There is no alternative. I don't get this.
Because I know now they're starting to use pig's hearts,
Yeah.
Still kind of rare, but they probably were doing it back then too. So maybe they could have tried that, but I know we don't do that here. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand either where the plot ends. Because You would. You got to blame the writers. I'm sorry, but you have to blame the writers, because where do you come up with this for 2 whole seasons? It basically started last season that his heart wasn't good, remember? To here, and to saying he has 6 months to live, to the dog eats the heart. You have to blame the writers. The writers are the ones that end a plot, right? And start a new one. I'm sorry, but it's not the actors. It's the writers. It's the writers. It's the creator. It's whoever the hell thought this was a good idea.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but if you're a part of the writing team, you were at fault.
They should have took some notes from House or MD or Grey's Anatomy. I mean, they're not completely accurate either, but they're a lot more accurate than this. So
ER.
Oh yeah, that's still a thing, right? Today.
Well, ER started in the 90s, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still going or. Yeah, I never watched that show.
No, I think ER ended, but it went on for so long that it was on during this time, and you could even then have looked back at the early seasons, I'm sure, and have said oh, this is what it should be. Now there's so many medical shows, but back then ER, was I think the biggest one. That's where Grey's Anatomy kind of probably came from. But it's yeah, I just don't understand why they. The writers just were let's just disappear this plot line. Okay, don't you think Lucas would also be worried because he has the same condition?
Yeah, but since he's younger, that's probably why he's not thinking about it right now.
I mean, Dan is only 18 years older than him. I got to make that clear too.
Yeah,
it's not like he has to wait 50 more years to figure out about his heart.
Yeah, so he has to, with him knowing that he's gonna be a father, you think that he would be figuring out how he can live long enough to see his kid graduate high school and college and not, die around the same time that he was when Keith died or something like that.
Yeah, and also because Dan only has 6 months to live, you would think that because Dan's 40, you would think that you would be oh my God, he is young. I don't want to be that. So what can I do? You talk to your doctors. What can I do to be healthy, to not have a heart transplant at 40 years old? It's weird. It's not on Lucas's mind.
Right. Yeah. Because my dad's health side of that family has bad health too, and my nephew has been trying to make sure he's been doing the best he can since his early 20s. So. Yeah.
Well, you would think when Lucas heard that Dan was dying, he was congratulations. It wasn't oh crap, I could die too.
He was just saying about Dan being out of his life again.
I know, but that was my point though. It's you got this from him, and yes, you can be happy that Dan will be gone soon, but your other thought should be excited, and then it should switch to what about me? I don't know. I feel that's how a normal person would think of yes, great, congratulations, you're gonna be out of my life. But at the same time, it'd be wait a minute, I have that same condition. What about me?
And then I'm kind of surprised Nathan didn't think about Jamie as well.
Yeah, does he have it?
Yeah, is he too young to be tested for it or what? Yeah.
Well, also as a brother, wouldn't you then be what about my brother? For me, if my brother had it, I would be as exciting as it is to have Dan out of your life, it's I would look at my brother and be but are you going to be okay? And you would think, so even if Lucas didn't think about it, Peyton, Nathan, Haley, one of those should have been are you going to be okay? I get you didn't think about it because you're just so in happy land that you didn't think about it. But one of them should have been Lucas, you should go to the doctor. It's weird.
Yeah. And then Dan asked Jamie about how his dad's doing, and he says he made the team, but he never gets to play, and the team's not good. They always
lose. Really?
Yeah. And then Dan says something good for once playing the game, because he says he always rises on top, and it's not about X's and O's, it's about heart, and his dad has plenty of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jamie thinks the pager's making a sound.
Yeah, that's what I said, that he's the whole time he sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he took him out to eat ice cream, so they're outside there. And he'll be the first to know when it does go off. And then at the label, Mia and Chase are kissing until she tells him she wants to play him a song. But this is good tune, give this him again. But then he tells her to play it. And she sits at the piano and she's nervous now because she basically never does in front of the guy she's been seeing.
So then she tells him that he's going to be the first one to listen. And then like he's starting to get nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God. But it seems like when Chase is around her, though, he does get nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I've just noticed that.
Yeah, but there was that subtle, he says, so, I'm going to be her first. And she says, they'll see. So that meant like her first, sexual intercourse also playing in that there. And it shouldn't surprise him because of that little age gap that they have. She's only 18. He's like 22, 23. So
he's like 23, almost 24, like that.
Yeah, and he was practically her age when he lost his virginity as well. So, yeah. And then she says about the night that they're talking about flying over a city and how things are different from a distance. He kind of inspired her to write this song, and she wants him to promise and lie and say he loves it even if he hates it. And then so she starts playing it, and then meanwhile, Lucas and Payne stop at the place they officially met face to face back in season 1. And Payne's excited to be there because they haven't been there for a while, apparently.
Yeah, and Lucas said that when she was in LA, he used to come there, and they're using that location in the movie, which I was happy that they're using something.
Mm-hmm.
And then that it was the beginning and everything, and they went through the whole basically scene of, first of all, you don't know me, second of all, and it was just so funny because like he was saying it, and then Peyton goes, well, to be fair, you didn't know me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I always knew you. It was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then he proposes.
Right. And it is a huge diamond as well. And so I'm kind of surprised that he told her that he used to go there sometimes when she was in LA. So that means that he was going there even when he was with Lindsay.
Yeah, that's what I took from it too.
Mm-hmm. And then Nathan's at the river court. Dan shows up and tells him it's a good thing he hasn't lost his touch because he's heard his team's lost 5, straight. He knows how that feels. And then actually he doesn't, he says. And Nathan asks if he just came to rub it in, and he says, no, just that losing has its advantages. And Nathan's like, here he goes, some classic Dan Scott advice that doesn't apply to normal people. And Dan says, losing always forces change, his time's coming. And, basically just keep going on and on about that. And basically just tells him that he'll be his team one day, so he has to be ready. And then he shows Nathan his pager and says it's going to decide whether or not he gets a second chance himself. If he does, he's going to make the most of it. All he can do is wait, as the doctor told him earlier. And then Pina walks in to find a strange man playing pool in her office.
And it was Paul. She's so excited. So she has a good relationship with Paul. Mm-hmm. Which is weird because if Julian hated his dad so much, you as the girlfriend would not be like, oh, I love your dad.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, it reminded me of when Brooke ran up and hugged Keith when he came back in town.
Yes, but Lucas didn't hate Keith. Like, it's weird. It's not like any one of Brooke's boyfriends have ran up to Victoria and said, I love, like it's weird.
No, I just mean that it's weird that they would act like they have a close relationship with that person.
But apparently she does. Like they seem like they've always been good, and I don't understand this because if your significant other cannot stand their parent, you should be on their side. Mm-hmm. It just is, unless when they broke up, Paul became like a father figure to her, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it happened after they broke up, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so he got in because Mia let him in, thinking that was her assistant. And she says, that's not just an overly trusting reporting artist, and it's a good thing he's not a serial killer because it doesn't treat hell. Was she meaning like Carrie?
No, I think she was probably meaning secondary. Or Carrie,
Oh,
one or the other.
well, I mean, they're not really serial killers, only to like one person.
Well,
Derek,
yeah, but Derek would have killed both Peyton and Brooke.
Yeah.
And anyone else who stepped in his way.
Yeah, so I guess
Lucas, the other
yeah.
Derek. I mean, he had a little lineup going on.
Yeah.
And then he said that she became this big success, which I think she's still starting. Like it's not like she's, she only has one artist, well, two, Haley, but Haley really hasn't put anything out yet. So it's like, I don't know if I'd call that a big success yet. Like I know she'll probably get there, but like, she's just still starting out. But he said, most importantly, look happy. And she said she's having a good day. And, then, she shows them, the ring or whatever. And he said, Lucas has good taste in jewelry and fiancés. He says, but not so good at directors. And she's like, I'm out of this. I like that she was like, that's Lucas's business. I'm not even stepping in this.
Yeah, so it just seems like he was more proud of Peyton what she's done versus his own son.
Probably because he thinks Julian is using Paul. Like Julian can't get anywhere without Paul, where Peyton hasn't used Paul at all. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of like a Victoria. Like I helped you start this. I did this for you. You would be nothing without me, even though she was. I think it's kind of like that, where they're hard on them because they always turn to them for help, maybe, where Peyton didn't ask really for help for anybody. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Of like, think about it. Julian has said, I go to him when I, need help, just like this project. He went to his dad. Like he didn't go, I don't know if he tried anybody else. He just went to dad. Like where Peyton doesn't have that. So maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, maybe she should let him know that when she put that city together, it was with the help of Ellie. Maybe that would have made him think differently.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you probably still skip over that. But then I did like how he did bring up how Julian was, upset and everything, and spent that whole weekend like heartbroken when they broke up, and that he missed Sundance because he was heartbroken. Because Peyton's like, no, like he was with somebody else, and he's like, no, like I planted that story. And it's like, so it's like, there you go. If you didn't compare him and Victoria, you will now, because he planted that story, just like Victoria planted all the, the other stories. So, yeah, he said he planted that. So then Peyton's like, oh crap, like I told Brooke something. But it's like, again, why wouldn't you just find out and then tell her?
Right.
It's weird.
And he also said that he's not sure if he ever fully recovered, so that kind of seemed weird, like as if he was gonna try to get back with her again, or maybe Paul himself is gonna try to get Payne to get back with Julian or something, even though she knows she's with this. I don't know. It's just weird like he said that.
Yeah, it's weird because I think Julian has moved on.
Yeah.
I don't think he's there to still go after Peyton. But I think that in his dad's head, he's like, oh no, I think he's definitely trying to like stir some drama, because like he's like, by saying, oh yeah, I don't think he ever got over, you. It's like, what? I think he's doing just fine with a new relationship. But the thing is, Julian has not sat down and said, I met somebody else. So in his dad's mind, his dad is like, he knew Julian went there for Peyton, because he did. But he doesn't know that he's been spending time with Brooke. That's what his dad doesn't know. So what his dad knows is he went there for Peyton. But so that's the only thing he knows. So that's what he's trying to tell Peyton of. He doesn't realize the truth, and that's no. There's another girl.
Yeah, because Julian doesn't seem like he would talk to his dad about anything personal like that at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why he's only going with what happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, plus the thing with Brooke is still brand new and they're still trying to figure things out. So yeah, I get that.
Well, and already like, there's stuff getting in the way of them. So you don't want Paul to break them up. Even though, wouldn't you think Brooke is a success? Because she made a successful company. Yeah, her mom took it away, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because he just has this idea of Peyton and how he loves her so much. Like, I would think you would love Brooke too. Like, she's not sitting there going, Mom, I need my allowance. Like other rich kids, who get money from their parents. She made her own money.
Yeah, does Brooke even meet Paul at all? I can't remember. I don't think she does, only his mom.
I don't know.
I remember maybe at the wedding, but probably not. I don't think
I
he
don't
was
know.
even there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to remember that.
Yeah, because he would get along with Victoria very well. And then Lucas and Julian talking about the directors, and if can they choose and screw up the lease. And Julian wants to go with the British actor.
Yeah, so he said that well, because he wanted to make
director,
with the sock puppets. And he's like, and then Julian was like, tell me you wouldn't want to see a little sock puppet Lucas. Like, what?
I mean, you already lost me when he said incest, so I don't know why he's like the sock puppets is a good part of it you should focus on.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Plus, this isn't like the Muppets or something, so why would Lucas want to choose that actor, first of all, even if it wasn't because of the incest part?
I know. It just his idea alone was not good.
And then Jamie finds Nathan working on a play fiction, calling it homework. He explains that when he gets in the court, he wants to be ready. And Jamie asks if, does he think he's ever going to play? And he says he hopes so. And it's up to the coach, though. And he asks if the coach is new. He says no. He's just doing what's best for the team. And then asks Jamie if he wants to help him, which was sweet. And Jamie just keeps thinking about how the coach needs to want to have Nathan play the game. And then back at the store, Lucas walks in. Telling Brooke he wants one of the jackets, and Brooke says she'll make him one, but he's gonna have to wait. And Lucas says Julian didn't have to wait, and she's like,
then she thinks it's about one thing, and he's like about the jacket, and he's like, oh, like what is going on between you two? Then Lucas put it together. It's funny.
Yeah. And then she tells him that up until today they were having fun. His words, not hers, but it ended before it started. And he just finds out that Lucas didn't know about any of this because he think keeping everybody, business wise, his relationships with Lucas and his dad. So, which was, professional of him. But, so Brooke says, how's the movie going? And Lucas says, the director that they met today wanted to make Lucas a gang member and have him living in a front yard. And, he didn't want to put Brooke up in a mansion in Charlotte.
Yeah, then she's all happy.
And she says that's a movie she could see. But then she tells Lucas he shouldn't have to compromise if he doesn't want to. The worst that could happen is for the movie to fail because they went with someone else's vision, not his. And just to do whatever it takes to make sure they tell the story the way he remembers it. And then Jamie tells Haley he needs to use the phone. But
that was so weird. How does he know the coach's number?
Maybe Nathan wrote it down somewhere and he found it, maybe.
I don't understand. I could see I could see like him getting like Nathan's cell phone and being and it's in there programmed. But like the fact that he says he wants to use the phone, which means it wasn't Nathan's phone. It was weird. I'm like, why would Nathan just randomly have how does Jamie know this number? I'm whatever. Okay.
Maybe Nathan did write it down, or maybe Jamie did go into his phone and memorize the number to use for later or something. Because he used the landline, right? So that was smart, but they wouldn't be able to see who he called either. Haley just knew he was making a call. She was going to ask him anyways, probably later, but it didn't seem like she did. Because that's when Payne walks in with Mia's new song.
Yeah, and then they talk about the ring and that Peyton really wanted to wear Keith's. And Haley's like, basically, you also shouldn't compromise and, tell him. And so, which you would think Peyton would, but I get she doesn't want to hurt his feelings. Like, this is the one, he wanted to give to her, I guess. So, I don't know. I still think she should tell him, but I still think he should have gave her both options. That's just what should have happened.
Yeah. And then when Jamie's talking to the coach, she says what Dan said about about X's and O's. It's about heart, and he thinks he should think about that. So Bobby says he will. And, really impressed that Jamie called him to tell him this. And it was only 5.
Yeah. And he's talking so grown up.
Yeah, so at least he didn't get annoyed that Jamie was bothering him. Like if he was busy or something, he actually took his word into consideration. So that was nice. And then Julian tells Lucas he thought they ran the British director, and Lucas says he changed his mind. And Julian reminds him that his dad wants an answer today.
This is a long day.
Yeah. And Lucas says he'll get one.
And then a limo pulls up.
And
it was so funny because you're like, oh God, who is this? And then out comes the director, Reese.
Yep. Adam.
It was hilarious.
But do directors even have one of those? That seems to be like an actor thing.
I guess
I
guess
had one, but
I guess if they have money, you can buy what you want.
I
just wouldn't really think they would. I don't think they'd really use it in Tree Hill. Maybe. I feel like that's more of like a movie LA kind of thing. Like you would pull up in a limo. I wouldn't really think you'd pull up in a limo in Tree Hill.
Yeah,
I don't see too many people pulling up in a limo around here.
We do have a place, but don't really see it here.
Yeah.
So maybe he found one there in Tree Hill to use, like rented or whatever. But, so he knows that they're having trouble finding a director. So of course he wants to go as High in the Rain again. And
and he says, "I am the only producer." Or it was just, I just didn't. He's just so funny. Like I don't know, just their dynamic is hilarious. And Lucas is just like, nope, like I don't want you.
Yeah, and he says he's going to give them another chance if they messed it up.
Well, they don't like him, so there you go.
Yeah. And then Chase tells Mia he has a surprise for her, and it's a Long Island iced tea that he made because she taught him how to make it, and just to try it out. And like she said before about her song, like why even if she hates it. And she says she loves it. It's great, not great though. That's just kidding. She loves it. But she's underage, so maybe she should, he should get back to the bar before she gets arrested. And then Adam tells Julian and Lucas he knows what they're thinking about fast food, beer, and getting laid. And Lucas says that pretty much was what he was thinking, going along with it. Julian says it's like to get his mind, and Adam says that they're also thinking about their movie. And he didn't fly all the way out there just so he can nail some flight attendant on the plane, even though he did do that. And Julian laughs, asking, how did she look? Just playing along with everybody.
Well, then he said, what's more important is I should be directing this film. And then he told Lucas he wrote a good script, but that's not enough. He said you need a director who takes your vision and translates it on the big screen. I'm like, oh my God. And then he said a director who knows when a scene isn't working. I really don't think that'd probably be him, but okay. And then Lucas is just still like, no.
And then he didn't help himself by ending that with bottom line, the 3 of them are going to get more ass in a toilet suit in the Yankee Stadium. I don't know why he does that, but so Lucas tells him he's not making the movie because he can't identify with the world. Basically, he explains exactly.
He wants to recreate the feeling that every time he steps on the river court at night, that the audience can see, that a song can change Peyton's mood, and that there's 2 sides of Brooke Davis, which are amazing. I love that he said all that, but it's weird how you wouldn't think Adam would really be listening, but apparently he's listening to this.
Yeah. And then Payne walks into Brooke's store and tells her she sucks, and Brooke's like, true, but why this time? And she said basically everything she told her about Julian isn't true.
And she's like, which part? And she's like, all of it.
Yeah.
And she tells her the truth. And so then, of course, Brooke's like, really? I'm like, yep, again, you should not have ran what Peyton said.
Mm-hmm. But then Brooke says that she doesn't want to violate the girl code now. And Peyton points out that she's engaged to her ex-boyfriend, so she's, exempt from it.
That's my point. Is you're how old? Peyton has moved on. She doesn't care about Julian. She never really seemed like truly in love like Lucas. So I don't understand why Brooke is like, I can't be with him because of you. Like, it's so annoying. Like, she gave her permission, like last episode, like, go be with him. I don't get why. I think it's Brooke just being afraid and blaming everybody but herself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And then Nathan goes to speak with Devon, and he asks if he wants an autograph. He has to wait until after the game. They'll fold himself, and Nathan gives him the heads up that he's going to be playing against Alex Beck tonight, and he's a good defender. And Devon's not worried about this. But he says he basically should be. And Devon asks if he's giving him tips, and he says he's just trying to help him. So, of course, Devin doesn't listen to any of this because he still thinks he's the best player, and, that's all that matters to him. And just tells Nathan to go stand on the bench and enjoy the show. And then, but Nathan tells him that he should switch to his left. And Bobby's watching all this, so he can see that Nathan's being a team player and trying to help Devin out. And then Paul asks Lucas who the rookie director is that they chose, and Lucas says that him and Julian have given this a thought, but they've chosen none of them.
Okay, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, now Paul's taking it into his own hands, really, Lucas?
Mm-hmm. But Lucas says he believes that they can find somebody better, and Paul says maybe the time's up. And then at the game, there's a tie, and Bobby tells Devin what he's going to do, but doesn't want to give the ball to Rhodes, so Bobby tells him everybody thinks he's the one taking the last shot, so they won't be expecting it if they switch it up. And Devin still wants to make the final basket and win, at least by his standards. And then Bobby tells him that he's there to help the team win, not just beat it for himself. And Devin doesn't take this seriously,
so he benches and puts Nathan in. Yeah, that's good.
So of course this makes Devin even more mad at Nathan, of course, but it's for the best. And then Haley tells Jamie to look because, his dad's going to get to play, and they cheer for him. And at the last second, Nathan passes the ball to another player on the team who makes the winning basket. And then Paul meets up with Adam, and Paul says he has 2 minutes to tell him why he should direct the movie, and basically
he gives the whole speech that Lucas gave.
Yeah, word by word.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was really paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if he recorded Lucas talking.
Yeah. So it's a good thing Lucas didn't tell Paul this earlier, because then he would have suspicions how he knew that, word by word, and wasn't just, giving him bull crap about that, just repeating what Lucas said,
Mm-hmm.
And then back at the court after the game, Jamie and Haley are playing, with the ball in one of the hoops, while Dan tells Nathan he hopes he wouldn't mind him coming to the game. He had a feeling about tonight. And, Nathan feels like he didn't do much, even though they won. But Dan, basically tells him that he should be proud of himself. He knew he'd be able to do it. He's proud of him.
I was happy that he said he's proud of him, because a lot of times, remember, Dan would be like, you're never going to beat me. You're never going to beat my scores, but she has beat him. He was about to go to the NBA and actually finished college playing, where Dan was like, psych, I'm out. Like, I got a little injury and I ain't coming back from it. Like, he has went further than his dad already. So he should be proud of himself for that.
Yeah. Especially after that. Because Nathan had a bigger injury than Dan did, and he still came back from that. Yeah. And then Payne kicks off the ring that Lucas got her, basically tells him that she can't accept it because she wanted to wear Tooth's ring.
Yep.
So then he does take it out and puts it on her finger.
I like that part.
Mm-hmm. And then Julian goes to see with the jacket. He says he wants her to have it back, or have it. And she says, why? He says, so it means that they're going steady. And Brooke says this isn't a game. He says he knows, but when he first got there, everyone thought he came there for the girl.
But he did. The other girl.
Yeah. Yeah, so now he's there for the other girl and making the movie too.
And then that Adam Reese guy comes in Lucas's house uninvited.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, what?
Yeah, already drunk on some
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah, because he's all happy because he's like, I'm directing your movie. And he's like, what? And he goes, I already signed the papers. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, Paul did warn him that he would choose if he didn't, so that's why they were able to do that without his permission, you know?
yep, because he told them. He says,
Mhm.
if you don't choose, I am. And Lucas came back with none of them. So there you go. There's your director, Lucas.
Mhm.
And this is, about to be fun because just their dynamics are just so funny.
Mhm. Yeah, I still think that this guy is better than the puppet guy, tech puppet guy. I mean, so
Yeah, because he was kind of keeping everything the same except for like, the proposal for, Haley and Lucas. Like,
mhm.
that's okay versus like, actually having like gang members kill Keith when Dan wasn't really a part, like there's
Mhm.
no reference to him being a part of it.
Right.
Like that whole thing is definitely weird. So yeah, I think this one has a better vision, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So for me, um, the high was Peyton, telling Lucas that she wanted to wear Keith's ring. I like that, even though again, Lucas should have given both rings to her. I also like how he proposed though, of
Mhm.
taking it back to the beginning. And I also like how Jamie, I don't know, like, I'm surprised Jamie didn't get in trouble or Nathan didn't get in trouble for Jamie calling the coach, but it was cute. And then the low, I don't like how that Devon guy, like, how he treats everyone,
Mhm.
like, especially Nathan.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. I feel like, grow up.
Yeah, it's like Nathan's looking at a past version of himself and now fighting against him on the same team.
Yeah, I just didn't like that part. I also didn't like that Brooke just took what Peyton said about a tabloid without knowing any information. Like, did you talk to? That's what Brooke should have said. Did you talk to anybody to find out this is true? And then she could have said, yeah, or like lie, like maybe heard it from like a little rumor of like someone told someone, and that's how she got it to be a yes or something. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Brooke is a lot smarter than that. Where she would have asked her like, is this true? Like, did you talk to somebody? And if Brooke would have said, or Peyton would have said, yeah, then it would have been like, okay, I'll believe it. And then Peyton finds out the truth and it's like, sorry. I just wish Brooke didn't just run with it right from the start because she knows what tabloids are like. So that's what I didn't like was that she also ran with it. What about you?
Yeah, my high was Nathan, thinking like a team player and like a good basketball player by telling Bobby like what they should do and basically let Devin play less because he's only thinking about himself if they really want to win the game, and they did, so it worked. And the low was I guess just a struggle of you know, Brooke and Julian, that whole misunderstanding of Julian's character, because like you said, she was just taking things word for it. That kind of just caused some unnecessary drama between them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because things were going pretty well until then. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'd rate this an 8. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So for me, the best was Nathan for being a team leader and player.
Mm-hmm.
And because he doesn't have to be, but he's definitely showing, a different version of himself to the coach. And the worst was that Devin guy.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah, that was my worst too. And then for my best, I just put Brooke, just because she's helping Lucas not only with the clothes, but she gave him that advice, when he was struggling with the define as a director and with the story and everything, and tells him that he doesn't have to compromise if he doesn't want to.
But he picked nobody, so then Paul picked for him. Like that's
Yeah,
even better.
I mean, she was basically following her advice, but a little too slow.
Like Lucas should have said, "But Brooke, if I do that, Paul's gonna pick for me."
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be somebody I cannot stand. Like the worst person I don't want is going to be the director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lucas should still make this movie as most authentic as he can to this book and this story. So
Yeah. And then you said the worst was Devin.
yeah.
And then what is the next episode?
Episode 16, Screenwriters Blues, which sounds definitely about Lucas.
Oh my God. This is like one of my favorite episodes.
Mm.
I'm so excited for it. All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.